Guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to talk about Gurptuk Moss-Beard. He is an Ogryn Tribe Force Affinity champion who is now available on Fusion, actually as of like a week ago. I'm uploading this video a little bit late because I saw all the negative reviews on this champion. I questioned to myself, do I even want to bother fusing him? But the fusion is a little bit easy compared to the previous ones, so I decided to go ahead and do it. And I think he's a very interesting champion who in the future, I would put a lot of money that at some point he's going to be good. I just have a feeling if they buff him just a little bit, I feel like his kit is getting a lot of heat everywhere right now. And I'll share more on this, my opinions, after I show you him in like every dungeon today. It's going to be a longer guide on him because I've tested him out quite a bit. I think you guys might be impressed with some of the teams that I built around him. However, with that said, yes, he's definitely a little bit below average compared to most legendary champions. I do want to note one thing here, guys, that Umbral Enchantress is part of this fusion. Definitely want to go ahead and fuse her at the very least. She's an incredible champion. I have her in immunity gear. I use her as kind of an arena sub, and with immunity against, you know, any hegemons, any Torments out there. She has an AoE provoke and an unkillable on herself. She also places a block cooldown skills on herself for 4 turns, but that's a game-changing ability, the Undying Evil. So make sure you fuse her at the very least. So Gurptuk Moss-Beard. I think starting with, what is it, Symbiotis? My bad, guys. Is this a real word? His passive. I want to start in reverse order when we talk about his abilities because it just makes more sense that way, right? Allies under poison debuffs inflict 7.5% more damage for each poison debuff on them, stacking to a maximum of 30% damage. It applies to all their skills, also places an increased resist by 15 for each poison. So up to 30% more damage. Where that scales the most is with champions like Cold Heart, champions like Royal Guard with those big, heavy hitting abilities, because if you're hitting for 1 million, well, all of a sudden that could be 1.3 million, and that's a big difference maker. Also just big sheer damage dealers, you know. I tried them out with a few clan boss teams with guys like Brackus and Turvold, and just to see how much more damage they did, and of course, up to 30% more damage does make a difference. So his A3 is what places the poisons on your allies. 3 poison debuffs on all allies for 3 turns. They cannot be resisted or blocked. Also has a 100% chance when booked of placing a block buffs debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Cloud of Spores is an ability that you can definitely book out. I did not, because I'll tell you what, Gurptuk is a champion that you can get by without booking. Really, I would not, unless you're just a huge whale, I would not advise you wasting, what is it, like 10 books or more on this champion, because on his A2 here, Druidic Boon, it actually removes all debuffs from one ally, then heals them by 30% of their max HP, places a shield buff on that one target, up to 20% of their max HP for 2 turns. Now this could be booked down to a 2-turn. I'm interested to see what you guys think about this, but I think this would be better at 3 turns. I don't want this on a 2-turn cooldown because I think I'd rather, this is a single ally. I think I'd rather, if it was an AoE cleanse, forget it, then his kit is amazing, you know? But I'm not sure if it's amazing, actually. Maybe if it was 2 allies with the lowest HP or something. Either way, having it on a 2-turn cooldown is going to prevent the Biotic Staff, his A1, from going more often. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times, plays a 15% continuous heal buff for 1 turn on all allies under poison. I'd rather have him doing this more often than only once every 3 turns, because this is on a 3-turn cooldown, this on a 2-turn cooldown, and then he'd be, you know, not placing enough continuous heals because he's doing a lot of damage with his poison. So there you go, guys. That's how I have him. I decided not to book him at all. Usually I do, and I have the books, but I decided not to because A, he's a little bit underwhelming. Do I want to waste, you know, what is that, $200 worth of books on him? It's insane how expensive legendary books are. No, and B, I think he's useful. If you're going to use him, you can use him without books, I feel like. War Master is the best mastery for him. Again, he's doing his A1 more often, more chances for War Master procs on Clan Boss, and more continuous heals. So I went War Master. I went with defense tree here, guys. I mean, just a standard defense for the most part, ending with Retribution. Again, more chances of landing that way 1, more chances of placing continuous heals on his allies. In terms of, you know, gearing out this champion, I went with a lot of HP just because the gear that I had, 66k HP. He's really not going to be dying on your teams. You just want to make sure you have your speed appropriate to speed tune him if you're going to be using him in Clan Boss or experimenting with him in Clan Boss. Either way, you do want to have him going on the faster side of your team. And then on accuracy, if you want to land that A3 with the block buffs ability, debuff, you want that accuracy to be about, 200 to and higher. However, I'm not really using him for that in my teams, and we'll talk about why as we move through this video. High defense because I wanted to try him out in Clan Boss. Suffice it to say, guys, the most disappointing team that I had with him is Clan Boss, or Dungeon, I should say, whatever it is. Clan Boss was the most disappointing area. I thought that might be where he has his most potential, and that just wasn't the case for me. I couldn't get him to work. I could get him to work, but not for enough damage to make him above replacement value on any of my teams. And I burned like 10 keys on this dude, I'll show you one team anyway, though. So for Ring, I went defense. I went defense on the Amulet. I went HP with some speed. I wanted more speed on him to speed tune him for Ultra Nightmare on the banner. However, you definitely go with pretty much anything. It's kind of a flex spot. Accuracy 2 works if you want to depend on that A3 for the debuff. I went speed on the boots. I went defense on the chest. I went HP on the gauntlets here. You could go crit rate if you wanted to, but you're really, he only has one ability, again, that's doing damage. If you build him up with 100% crit rate on a counterattack team, and you don't book out his A2, maybe he could, land 3 million damage for you on Clan Boss. It doesn't hit especially hard on his A1, so it's really War Master is what you're using it for. Other than that, just defense, sustainability, right? Making sure that he's not going to die. So I went with a couple speed sets on him and an immortal set as well. Not too bad. You could also go with a shield set on him. Something that I should have probably just tested out because I think he'd be good on the shield. It would help, eat up some of those poisons, right? Anyway, that's how I have him built out, guys. You can see the reviews so far on him are just glowing. People who fuse him absolutely love him. I mean, rave reviews. All right, so you can also go with, I don't know, lifesteal with the champions on the team around him. You could also put him in all lifesteal gear. That will help keep them alive despite the poisons. So now we've talked about him, guys. Let's go ahead and try him out in a few dungeons. So how this team's going to work here is you never really see Valkyrie being ran in Dragons. But it's interesting because she's going to be feeding a lot of buffs for Seer to strip away, and she's going to be keeping the team alive at the same time with her shield when the poison gets to be a little bit oppressive from Gurptuk. So it actually works out pretty well. I was able to run this team. Every time I've ran it, 2 things have happened. One is I've been successful 100% of the time, which is nice because this guy, you got to be careful. He'll kill your team, man. And the second thing is always below 2 minutes. Sometimes about 1 minute and 15 seconds or so with this run. So not bad at all. 15 second on the first wave. And, the reason we have Gurptuk on this team is because he is allowing a Royal Guard on his takedown ability and the Karma Burn ability of Seer to hit a bunch harder. And again, keeping the team alive as Valkyrie. So again, Valkyrie on a bad affinity matchup, definitely unorthodox to have her in this squad. You could try like a miscreated monster. However, you are getting 1 less buff and you're not getting the counter attack, which isn't helping you tremendously, but it's not too bad. So here we go. About 45 to 50 seconds. Took a little bit longer there on the second wave than I would have liked. If we can get this dude down without having... we used the takedown. That was very unfortunate. So if we had killed that last apothecary, I believe it was, it would have really sped up this run a lot faster. Now instead, we're stuck with, takedown on the full cooldown, which is really what we're relying on when we get to the dragon with this team composition. But either way, it's probably going to be about a minute and 45 second run. And again, if we get better RNG and we can get to the dragon before that takedown goes down, we can get this to about a minute and 20. This match would already be over. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. Again, my fastest time with this specific team composition was a minute and 15 seconds. So there's the takedown. That's 700,000 damage, not bad at all. And again, when the poisons start adding up to be a little bit too much, Valkyrie's in there to place those shields down and kind of eat up those poisons. And again here, minute and 46 total time. So, Gurptuk, I keep, stammering his name away. Moss-Beard, we'll just call him Moss-Beard. he's not awful in this team. It's at least they're all always living, and it's weird, but you know, it works to have Valkyrie in there too. Again, you could try with Miscreated Monster, just a little bit less damage from your Seer that way. Let's go in with, well, I'm going to try all these dungeons, so let's go Fire Knight next. So this Fire Knight team, again, I have Lysandra in the lead for speed. I have Seer in there as well, Cold Heart this time instead of Royal Guard, and then I have Stag Knight in there as kind of a debuffer. This team works too. He has a multi-hitter on his A1. Moss-Beard does, so not too bad in terms of getting that shield down. I would say a 2-hitter is not ideal. Obviously, we're looking for 3 or more hits, but not the end of the world either. Can definitely use him in this team. So again, taking that first wave down with ease. Second wave will take a little bit longer. The idea here is just trying to keep the team alive through this second wave, and that's why we have Lysandra on this team, because of return mirror manipulation, able to, you know, get us just enough extra turns to at least take their attack down, and even if they do attack, our Cold Heart will stay alive, and that's the most important through the second wave here. So again, like I said, is taking a little bit longer than we'd like, but, you know, maybe about 50 seconds, and we'll have this wave down. There's the Karma Burn ability, and come on. There we go. 1 down and 2. So about 50 seconds before we get to the Fire Knight. I don't think this team has the multi-hitters necessary to not allow the Fire Knight to take at least 1 turn, unless we get lucky here with a Heartseeker. We won't. So we're going to take 1 AoE attack, and that should be it, though. Thankfully, because look at our health. Look at the health of, and this is where his A2 will come in and heal Cold Heart. See the druidic boon? Just when you think she's going to die there, he picks her back up. So that's actually nice to have in that situation. Now our Seer looks like she's going to die when she gets her next turn. Ooh, Fire Knight took another turn. That is not good. That didn't happen during testing, during practice, as I said earlier. Let's see if we can still finish him off here. It looks like we'll be okay. Again, though, look at this poison. If anything kills our team, it's just going to be the poison. We need that. Okay, Cold Heart's still alive, and man, guys, we practiced for this. We practiced for this, but we're gonna get the job done here. Thankfully, again, 2 times he saved Cold Heart there. Again, with this team, it's gonna be a sub 2-minute run. I think. And there it is, 769,000 damage on Cold Heart there. And again, you know, below 2 minutes, not too bad, and it really increases the amount of damage that my Cold Heart is doing, and my Seer on the Seer, namely on the waves, helping her give that boost. And on Cold Heart 2 against the Fire Knight, against the boss. So let's go ahead and move into, so this team again, the same idea here. I have the shield to kind of keep everybody alive. You do need a little bit of support usually to go along with your Moss-Beard, just because, well, he does a lot of damage to your own team, which is weird to say, right? But again, you're seeing, you know, it's tough going on double speed and not comparing the damage numbers here, but essentially, you know, for the most part, he's giving a really, really nice damage boost, but can it make up for having another big damage dealer in that spot? That's the question, right? Like if I have, like for this team, for example, if I have like a Dark Elaine or a Biggin or something like that, you know, will they put out more damage? And the answer is usually, unfortunately, yes. The trick is to have him with 2 big heavy hitters, such as a Cold Heart and Royal Guard in the same team, if you can do that, or a Seer on the same team. And sometimes you will get the good RNG, the good poisons, and you'll be able to, you know, have a faster time. You just got to be careful, you know? And that's why shield is so important. Look at that Royal Guard's takedown ability. I mean, this is a pretty fast run so far. And again, if we can keep this team alive, which so far so good, I mean, we're putting out some serious damage. We're really fast through the first waves. We're able to keep the team, the health up there, thanks to Miscreated, who's really doing the only healing on this team, aside from, I guess, the A2 of Moss-Beard. And again, things getting a little bit dicey here with the HP on my champions. So, you know, I want to be careful here to point out again that I am not sitting here and telling you that he is, you know, it sounds like I'm overly impressed at times. I'm not sitting here and telling you that he is like an S-tier legendary champion, but I did want to go ahead and give him a fair shot and show you guys him performing well on these teams. And look at 1:37. I mean, that's really not bad. It's not bad at all. And my fastest time is 1:30, so I'm 7 seconds away. I bet if I ran this team 100 times, I would actually beat my PB. So there is an off chance that Gurptuk Moss-Beard makes it to one of my squads. But again, like I said at the beginning of the video, guys, he is he's very dependent on the team around him. You know, I have Seer and Royal Guard who put out 2.4 million damage, if I can move my chair. So these guys put out a lot of damage, this tandem, and that's the key, is pairing him with a good support, a good defense down, or a turn meter manipulator like Lysandra, or like a defense down like Stag Knight, Tyrell, War Maiden, and then put him with 2 big, based on enemy max HP damage dealers on your team. All right, guys, here in Spiders, sorry, I just recorded the entire video, then I forgot that I didn't show him in Spiders, but you guys can see kind of the same idea here in terms of the team. Some support with Miscreated, some defense down with Ghostborn, and just 2 heavy nukers, and we'll see how he does here. Again, just adding to that nukage, adding to the overall damage output of Royal Guard into Cold Heart. Kind of once you've seen it once, you've seen it all. But yeah, you know, it's not too bad. 1.5, 1.6 million almost damage there on the takedown ability. The Spider will get 1 heal off though on this team. It should be about a 1:30 to 2 minute run. There goes all the Spiderlings. And yeah, I feel like, I don't know, my goal here in this video isn't to tell you that he's the best champion in the world, but it's also to show you guys that he does have some use cases, as we saw in Ice Golem, right? I mean, 7 seconds off my best time in 1 random run is not too bad, and you can show he shows that paired with these big damage dealers, these big heavy nukers, that he has some real potential here. So here he goes. The fact that he is being attacked here, he is tanking for my entire team, is good as well. Keeping my Cold Heart nice and healthy and fine. Miscreated Monster, meanwhile, able to keep that shield on everybody else. So essentially, he's just a damage booster here and a tank on my team. And I gotta say, it's not too bad, right? He's definitely, you know, serving his role very well. So I think one more Heartseeker ability, one more takedown might get the job done. Very close. There's the takedown, 1.3 this time. And maybe a 1:30 run, 1:30, not too bad. I mean, it's not one of those crazy, you know, 10-second runs on Spider. It is on auto, you know, but almost there. If Cold Heart ever gets to go. But you can see here, he's doing a good job. Keeping everybody else alive, essentially. There we go, 1:38, not too bad. Let's go ahead and move on to Clan Boss. Here we go, Clan Boss. So I don't know, I tried a bunch of different teams, guys. He's just not very good in Clan Boss. I'm going to show you this one just for the fun of it. But I don't know. No matter what I do, no matter who I put him in for, it's just not really working out in Clan Boss. I'm just looking at the team right now. And, you know, to be honest, Brackus, Turvold, and people just don't accept this in my comments. I have Turvold and Brackus built out both in some of the best gear on my account. And Turvold always does like 10% more damage than Brackus. I don't know why people, because every time I put out a video complaining about my Clan Boss team or complaining about whatever, everybody's like, dude, Brackus is the best sheer damage dealer in the game. And then it's just like, man, even if I put him with my best gear, Turvold always does. I'm not saying it's by a lot. I'm just saying Turvold does like 5 to 10% more damage than him. It just is. It just does. It just happens. So this is the team, guys. I'm not going to bore you making you watch this, but essentially it's get as much sheer, you know, damage as you possibly can against the Clan Boss in as short a period of time before Gurptuk or before the Clan Boss kills your whole team. So I will come back to you guys at the end of this battle. Again, I experimented running like Mausoleum Mage, not in Clan Boss, but Mausoleum Mage on Dragons and Bad L on Clan Boss. It doesn't help things out. In fact, it only hurt for me at least because, you know, he's stripping away those poisons and we're not doing the extra damage because the poisons aren't there. Anyway, guys, I will come to you at the end of this run. It's probably going to be a very disappointing amount of total damage, but I will be right back. All right, guys, here we go. Towards the end of the battle, I'm assuming here, we have, you can see some Clan Boss poison, some Moss-Beard poison, and then there goes half the team, and we're about 6 minutes in, so just, you know, this poison damage is real. It's the real deal, you know? It does a lot. We're gonna end at 17 million. I'm not sure if I said that earlier, but this is basically the best team that I can find with Moss-Beard. Normally, just to compare it on like my better teams, I get around 23 million. So, you know, we're 5 million off. he did 1.6 million, basically thanks to War Master. Prox, he did, Tyrell did 2.1 million, and, you know, kind of Razin, Turval did the most, and that's about it, guys. So there you have it. That is the squad. That is the full review on Gurptuk Moss-Beard. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that I've given you, I don't know, maybe a little faith that if they buff this champion, maybe a little bit, he could be very viable inside this game. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.